What's going on, everybody? This is Justin, For Real Podcast, and today I have Katie and Jacob. They are from Keep Waco Loud, and they are my favorite couple that I really don't know much about. So today we'll learn more about you guys. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Katie, and
I'm Jacob.
And we're from Keep Waco Loud. We started Keep Waco Loud we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary with Keep Waco Loud just last week. May 1st was 1 year. It's been a wild ride. Crazy cool. We've done shows. Started a podcast. We've done a lot of really cool stuff, and now we've even gone through our very first pandemic. So
sweet. I want to know tell me about the aha moment when you guys decided to go forward with Keep Waco Loud.
I would actually like to tell the story of when I had met Michael Golden. He's a jazz musician here in Waco, and I'd had a few drinks. We're hanging out at True Love's, as one does, and I was just talking to him about the music scene. This was before we even had the Keep Waco Loud in our head, and I was just like, dude, what's going on with the music scene here? It just doesn't seem cohesive. It seems like all you got here is country music, and I think at that moment the seed was planted, and then I went and we told Katie about that encounter, and I think that was just the crux of we should do something about this.
Well, great. I love what you guys are doing. It's awesome. A lot of artists that I know have personally been helped out by you guys, so big salute to you guys on that.
Of course, thank you. I mean, the Waco scene is in of itself just such a cool, living, breathing thing that is constantly changing, and we hope that eventually the music and comedy entertainment scene in Waco becomes like a beacon for others to want to come to Waco and experience what we do on a regular basis.
Oh, awesome. All right, guys, if you don't mind, let's take it back a little bit. Where are you guys from? Katie, if you want to start.
I'll start. I grew up in Georgia, but I spent my entire life in Texas. My entire family is from the area. My mom is from Marlin, and my dad is from West. And they met when my mom was at Baylor. And my dad has pretty much lived in Texas most of my life. He moved back here when I was 5. So I spent my summers and my Christmases here in Waco. I learned how to drive in Waco. I used to hang out at the mall. That was my babysitter. Got in trouble in Waco.
Cut your gums.
Yeah. So even though I go to high school here, I've been able to see Waco since probably around 1997. I've spent, been here on and off, and then when we moved here officially in 2017.
Apologize for our corgi. She's very demanding.
No, that's awesome.
Her attention.
Yeah. This is the new world we live in now. I actually grew up in this area. I graduated from Copperscope High School in 2001, and my family is all from the Central Texas area, Mapasas, Copperscope, Kempner area. And I moved away from there and went to college up in Denton, University of North Texas.
Awesome. Well, we'll stick with you guys' younger days. Tell me 3 influential artists from your high school years.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So I was really into punk music. So I would say kind of like the punk rock thing. I really liked 90s Green Day. So I was really, really into the Dookie album and that whole genre. Of course, I loved, embarrassingly enough, but not embarrassingly enough, I was really into Fall Out Boy. Huge into Kanye, Dashboard Confessional, just kind of all over the place. I've always never had a favorite genre. I've just always been kind of all over. And then Manchester Orchestra, which is kind of an indie. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe them, but they are my favorite band of all time. I've stanned them since 2009. I love them.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
If I had to do the whole, let's do 3 of the most influential of my high school years, I would have to say it is the Dookie album for Green Day, and it is the entire discography of the Fugees. And then the first time I heard the band Marcy Playground, they sing the song "Sex and Candy."
Yeah.
They're probably the most popular song, but the entire album really changed my way of thinking about music.
Which we actually used to live by Marcy Playground.
Oh, we did in New York City.
In New York, when we lived in New York, we lived right next to Marcy
We're
Playground.
jumping ahead.
Okay. That's really awesome. I probably have not thought of Marcy Playground in at least 5 to 10 years, and I'm glad you did because I'll have to dig that album up.
Yeah, dude, you'll enjoy it. It really holds up.
So sticking with that, tell me about your dream artist that you would like to bring to Waco to perform.
Oh, Manchester Orchestra, hands down. I already decided that, and I looked up how much it costs to get them to play, and it's like $30,000, which is not.
Wow.
We can crowdfund this.
That could happen.
You know what I mean? Having Andy Hull and them play in Waco is like a dream of mine. So
I would say the hypest of the most hyped dreams ever would be to get Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr to play a concert in Waco.
Okay, he went real far.
No, that's it.
Why not? Why not shoot for the stars, literally?
Shots right now, kids. Everyone's home, stuck.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I guess we can stay on Waco. Kind of give me a stream of conscious rundown of restaurants and places to eat that you would recommend to people during this time where all we have to do is eat.
Yeah, well, our very favorite brewery just started canning beer, Brotherwell Brewing. They're over in East Waco, right on the other side of the river from downtown Waco. They have a drive-through right now. On the weekends, they're having like ice cream and stuff like that. Definitely support them. They are an amazing local business owned by two really great guys who really supported Keep Waco Loud and the music scene from the beginning.
Pivotal in our creation.
Absolutely.
So
they trusted us before we had anything to trust in. So, like they really took a leap of faith with us.
Love those guys.
Classy Glass, they are a downtown restaurant. They also hosted our open mics every Monday. They gave us a platform. They've given a lot of different artists a platform to perform every Monday night. And they asked nothing of us. We just came and played, and we've created a really cool bond. So those are the two that really jump in my
And I'm just gonna toss this out there because their food is delicious. Guest Barbecue.
Ooh, Guest Barbecue,
They have come
for sure.
through
Don't let
clutch.
people miss. Sorry.
No, don't be. It's fine. All right, we can just keep on going. Katie, is there somewhere in Waco that people don't know about, kind of like a hidden gem that you would want to tell people about?
Sure. Yeah, my favorite thing is the river walk. So there is a trail that's right next to the river, and there are 28 statues that were just installed recently by City of Waco. It was a project that cost around $1 million, but it was all funded by donors. And they are these statues that have come from all over the world that are animals that are represented in the Cameron Park Zoo. So they have like a life-size elephant.
They have a life-size painted tiger.
Do.
Anyone that's a Tiger King fan, you definitely need to go post some pictures.
There's a very realistic alligator that if you didn't know better, you'd kind of freak out and be like, oh my God, there's an alligator, but it's just a statue. Deer, bear cubs, meerkats.
Elephants sitting on the bench.
Yeah, like it's really, really cool. So that's a new thing in Waco that's just really cool. I know that the river walk in Waco is going to be exploding with new development over the next couple years. So it's pretty cool.
Yes, I know. Right now, I learned something new about Waco every day. It's a really good time for Waco, for sure. Jacob, do you have a place, kind of like a hidden gem that people don't know about you would recommend?
Yeah, well, one of our favorite things to do on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one or all three of those days, some weeks, was to go to a speakeasy here in town. It's below Cultivate 712, which is an art
gallery.
It's basically an art gallery where people showcase their art. And underneath there used to be a bread a bakery, and they back in the 20s and 30s, I think. Actually.
Yeah.
And Cultivate 712 turned this in through the help of Travis Scott, who's a good friend of ours, not the rapper.
Travis with two V's.
Two V's. Through his like expertise of being just a cocktail bartender and just an all around like cool guy, turned this space into just this great speakeasy, BYOB, bring your booze and he'll make a cocktail for you environment, and we desperately miss that.
Oh my God, I miss it so much.
Yeah, we would be there right now.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it was a great place to save money too, because it was BYOB,
Yeah.
so you could take whatever you want. And it was like dark and kind of like it felt very exclusive, even though like anybody, well, not anybody can come. It is technically
have to be a
a
member.
social club, but you can get a day pass for like $7. But you know, it was really cool, and we really do miss it.
yeah, I'm actually looking forward to. Hopefully, I'll see you guys there soon in the future.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
we'll take you.
Let's do this. What is the best concert you guys have ever been to?
Ooh.
Man, I will say the best concert that I ever went to was seeing the Flaming Lips, who they're kind of like a psychedelic early 90s, early 2000s great band. They came and played a free show in Denton, Texas, and the lead singer is Wayne Coyne. He got into a giant inflatable ball and he rolled over the entire crowd. And when he was in the middle of the crowd, they tripped the breakers for like that entire section of Denton. The power went out. So he's just sitting in the middle of this crowd, just yelling at the top of his lungs. And then the power came back on, and like sparks flew and like confetti flew, and it was great.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
I have so many. I miss concert culture. Like, I miss it so much.
Giving us PTSD.
Right.
I actually have two, because they're in two different opposite like spectrums. So
Awesome.
one would probably be Red Hot Chili Peppers 2012 at Bonnaroo. Was an amazing experience. It like started raining and nobody cared. It was just an amazing, big, large scale concert where just everybody's screaming at the top of their lungs and you're sweaty, and it just was amazing. And then the other would be probably one time when I saw Manchester Orchestra before they went on their first European tour in 2011. They had a very exclusive show at the very first bar they had ever played at. And tickets sold out in like 25 minutes because they posted them like, and they were like, hey, we're doing this thing, here are the tickets. And I just so happened to see them on Facebook at the time, bought the tickets, sold out instantly because there's only like 50 tickets, if that. And it was just this close, intimate, cool show with my favorite band. And so like, I'm like 10 feet away from Andy Hull, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever, which I had actually ran into him the week before and made a request with a song that he never normally played live, and then he played that song live, and he has played it live ever since that day, so you're welcome.
That definitely one of the coolest stories I've heard. Okay, let me touch back. One of the pictures I was going to show you in the game that we were going to play is of you guys in New York in like 2016. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Tell me about that and living next door to celebrities and stuff.
We did it a couple times, see celebrities, but we love New York. Living in New York, in my opinion, was one of the reasons Keep Waco Loud even exists.
That's true.
Because we loved, Jacob was in a band in New York, and we loved just being able to go and see live music any night of the week, any genre. When Jacob and his band wanted to play, all you had to do was reach out to a venue, and you could usually get booked because there's so many venues and so many bands that it was just like a plug and play situation. Yeah. And when Jacob joined a band here in Waco, it wasn't like that. There was nowhere for him to play, really.
It was truly a struggle to try and find, we're not the greatest, but
But I mean, the fact that there really wasn't an option. And so
that started our kind of research into figuring out what the scene was for that specific type of genre of music, which is, rock and roll or whatever. But that sort of spread out to realize that there was just all of these other different types.
There were a lot of people here who felt the same way.
Yeah.
And the only places they were getting to play were really cool underground garage shows or outside of Waco. And so we decided, let's try to build the platform for more people to be able to perform.
That's so awesome. Let's go back. Let's talk about you and rock music. Here's something I want to ask somebody who is actually in rock music. Do you think that there is a resurgence or a comeback on the horizon for traditional bands in rock music?
I think that probably about 4 or 5 years ago, we kind of hit an apex. And I think it was when it was at the, I think it was the
I know exactly
Grammys.
what you're about to say.
It was at the Grammys.
Is it when Lorde won Best Rock
yes,
Album?
Yes, it was. It was when Lorde won Best Rock Album against the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, that was right.
It's a very, very straightforward rock and roll, not straightforward.
And Lorde is amazing. Like, don't
Lorde's
get me
great.
wrong. She's a great musician, but she's not a rock
No,
album.
I totally agree.
I think at that moment, that was kind of like a little bit of a decline, and rock does that. It goes like this. You've seen it in the 70s, and then in the 80s, new wave hit, and then all of a sudden you got hair metal, and then all of a sudden you get the grunge. It just goes up
See,
and down.
I think we're about to hit, the 90s nostalgia is kind of going like really hardcore right now, and I think we're going to start to hear some of that more raw
You're gonna
rock, like that
see
Nirvana.
a throwback. There's always a push towards production being like tip top, and that's where we're at right now. Where like all the music is produced very well.
Yeah.
It's done well. But I think at this moment that we're all sitting at home, there's going to be just the desire for that rawness that rock and roll brings.
Oh, for sure.
And I think you're going to next couple years.
Yeah. Were you around Dallas or Fort Worth during the about the 2010s when the pop, like the power pop explosion came out with the Forever the Sickest Kids and those bands?
I don't specifically know those bands, but I definitely was in the Dallas area in the late, between like 05 to, 04 to like 2011. I was living there. And specifically in the Denton area, there was this indie scene there that really exploded from there. A lot of bands. Neon Indian, I don't know if you've heard of those guys. It's just an example, but no, I'm not quite familiar with what you're talking about.
Well, I just used them as kind of example for that whole explosion. And then, like you said, you had the opposite side. Have you heard of Richard Haskins from Denton?
That name is very familiar to me.
He is. I think he was a singer-songwriter who I think one day decided to rob a bank.
Oh, cool.
Wait, you do know that guy?
Yes.
Because he was friends with the producer that produced my band's last album, last EP. And he's got in his studio, he has actually a news clipping of that. He's good friends with that guy.
He is one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet in your life. So if you get a chance to hang out with Richard, definitely do that. Just
That's
don't
fun.
rob any banks with him.
Yeah. Basically, don't go to a bank with him. Got it.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely.
That's funny.
Guys, I cannot thank you enough for coming on today. Especially, we made up for our last fiasco, and I can't thank you enough for coming on. Is there anything, you have the floor, is there anything you would like to say to anybody or get off your chest?
Sure. One thing that's really important to us is after this whole Corona quarantine situation starts to kind of subside, hopefully in the next couple months, we really, really hope that the music scene in Waco and the surrounding areas don't really skip a beat. And so it is more important now than ever to support your local musicians.
Yeah.
Share their music. When they start having shows, go to their shows, buy their merch. Listen to their music on Spotify. There's so much you can do to support the local scene, especially your local scene, your local economy. So that's something that's really important to keep Waco Loud, just supporting local, being there for your people.
You got some friends streaming music, on Facebook or Instagram. Listen to it, follow it. If they got to donate, tip jar up. If you can't drop any money because money's tight right now, try to share it so other people that might be better off could help that artist, because we're not taking care of what we want to see in the future now, and we're not going to see it in the future.
There's no better way we could end it than on that note. So keep Waco loud. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
You guys just chill till the next episode. And on that note, we're out.
Episode.
Later, guys.